This video is going to cover the Google Ads account settings. And we've had a few people ask us, hey Joe, where can we find this component within Google Ads? And our answer is the account settings, but then that person doesn't know where they live. It could be buried a little bit. So we'll make sure you know where to find the account settings. Then we'll go over what you can and cannot change within the account settings. And you heard that right. There are a few things that you cannot change within the account settings. A few things like when you did set up your Google Ads account, you're not allowed to change, but they are visible within the account settings just so you remember what you selected. Then we'll go over some of the account-wide settings that you can also have at the campaign or potentially ad group levels. But the account level can cover all of your campaigns and make future campaign creation a lot more efficient. It's easier for me just to show you, so let's jump in. I'm on the overview screen within Google Ads. And to access your account settings, you can head over to Settings in the left-hand column, click down on the arrow, and there we see Account Settings. And you can pretty much access this type of navigation no matter what view you're in. You can see up top, I only have Search Campaign selected. You don't have to go up and choose all campaigns. You should have this settings options within your navigation no matter what view you're in. So we'll click on Account Settings. And here I'll go through each of the line items. I know some of the areas that are in your account settings are really important for any new account setups. And it's a good refresher to remember where some of these settings live because they bury them a little bit. The first is going to be your account name, pretty much the name that you have chosen when you created the account. And if you're a client who is sharing the account with an agency or some sort of ad manager, that's the name that they will see when you're requesting access or when they eventually gain access to the account. Now, the account name can also be viewed and changed within preferences. That's going to be in your tools and settings and then under the setup column. So you can still see in this view, you can also change the account name for everyone who has access to it. They will see it. So let's head back into the account settings. I'm not going to change anything here. Next, you can review your account status. For whatever reason, if you think your account gets disabled, you should see some notifications up here and hopefully you're getting an email. But this may be a last resort place to check to see if it was deactivated and what the reason would be. If you are just done with Google Ads, you can see this is where you will cancel your account. And then within 60 days, you will receive your final bill. And then you can be done with Google Ads, but I hope you're not. Next, you're going to look at your data protection contacts. And this may be important to set up. If you have someone in charge at your company that manages all the changes to data protection in the digital space, you can add that person to the account, even if they're not managing anything with the ads. So if Google makes any changes to the way that they're processing data, that person will get notified. Then they can make whatever adjustments that they need to in regards to internal policy, maybe the privacy policy on your page, the way your cookie settings are, all that stuff. The person in charge of that at your company will be notified right away. And next is the time zone. This one's going to be pretty quick. When you build your Google Ads account, you cannot change the time zone, just like you cannot change the currency. If you need to change your time zone, your only option is to create a new Google Ads account. This is the way it's always been, at least since I've been in this industry. Next is going to be ad suggestions. I don't remember when this was starting to be implemented. I think it's been a couple years now. But Google started to automatically apply ad suggestions only to search ads after 14 days. So you do have a chance to review them before they're pushed live. But if you don't want Google to automatically apply ad suggestions, you do have the option within your account settings to turn this off. But I'm just going to save this. And then we can move on to auto tagging. When you first create a Google Ads account, this box is unchecked. So you would have to add your own UTM parameters to all of your ad and extension URLs. Tracking is always important. So one of the first things we do when we set up an account for a new client is to make sure that this is tagged. I recently made a video about auto tagging and what's good to know about auto tagging besides where to find it in both Google and Microsoft. And you can check out that video right here. Next, you'll see tracking. Michelle has made a great video about how to set up tracking templates. This template does live in multiple levels within the account. You can set up tracking at the campaign level, at the ad group level, but if you just need one template to satisfy everything within the account, you would want to set that up here at the account level. Get your base template created here, and then if you need to change something for a particular campaign, you can go down to the campaign level, and that will override the account level. An ad group level tracking template will override a campaign and an account level, so the deeper you get, the higher priority that tracking gets. This option is preferred if you don't want to use auto tagging and you have very specific parameters that you may need to feed within your CRM or whatever internal system that you're using, or if you need to add additional metrics on top of the auto tagging parameters. And I believe Michelle does cover that within her video. Next is call reporting. This is Google's version of call tracking, and it's only going to work for Google ad formats. We have to call that out because this isn't a base call tracking system that you could apply within any of your marketing channels. But you'll be able to see when calls were made from your ads, if they were received, how long the calls are, and the area code from where the user was calling from. The default option will be turned off, but you can turn it on. But if call reporting and some sort of baseline tracking is appealing to you, you will turn it on. Then you can get the basic reporting information. Take it another step further, and you can save your recordings for 30 days. There, you'll have to read all the terms and conditions because you're all doing that right. Yes, every single word. Accept it. We'll leave it on. I did have a video going over call reporting and call recording and where you can get reports on all the different call metrics from this setting. You can watch that one here. It's going to give you more information. And then the last step was about third-party analytics. And then if you already use a call tracking provider, you can see information that's potentially shared. Next, there's inventory type. And this is going to be beneficial for Performance Max, certain shopping campaigns, and your video campaigns. When you're going through the campaign setup, you do have access to these. So instead of doing it campaign by campaign, you can set your inventory type at the account level. So standard will always be the recommended one, even when you're creating a new campaign. But if you want to keep your inventory as limited as possible, you know you're never going to go higher than that, check it out at the account level. But no matter what, whether you're setting this at the campaign or account level, always make sure that you're reviewing placement performances, where your ads are being shown, to add any proper exclusions. That should always be an ongoing thing. The account level setting will not be your catch-all. Besides inventory type, you can do excluded content at the account level. You can see it's for all campaigns except for discovery and video. Very good for brand protection if you want to set it at the account level so you don't have to worry about missing it one time and have an ad appear on potentially a really sensitive news topic, or maybe just a bad placement on the display network that can make your brand look horrible. So consider checking these boxes. If you really want to protect your brand name, do it once at the account level. Just like inventory type, you'll still want to check for any potential ongoing exclusions, but this should make that monthly check a lot easier. Dropping down to excluded types and labels. Pretty similar to excluded content. This one is for all campaign types except for discovery. So more exclusions at the account level. Another one that's very familiar if you set up a bunch of campaigns already. And then lead form ads. We have a few different videos about the lead form extension for both search and YouTube. But in order to have those run and be eligible to show up alongside your ads, you need to accept the lead form terms. It's another thing that potentially will show up in your notifications, letting you know that you need to accept it if you haven't done so already when you were creating the actual lead form extension. But if you're setting up a brand new account, you're already messing with the auto tagging settings, those types of things, just come down here and accept the lead form terms if you plan on using it. And then the last setting right now is smart bidding. Starting in May of 2022, Google Ads will use all of your customer match lists that you have uploaded into Audience Manager to help optimize your smart bidding. As a cookieless world keeps approaching us, making sure that your customer lists are eligible to be used for smart bidding is just going to give Google more signals. Google states that it'll help the machines learn faster, and that makes total sense. However, if your policies state on your website internally what you've already told your customers, that you won't use their information in this way, here's where you would want to check off the customer match option. They're going to warn you, but then you'd be able to save it. I'm not going to. And those are the options available within your account settings. Some of these features to me are really important, especially auto tagging and making sure I turn off ad suggestions. I pretty much do that because I'm still a control freak, and you can see how they're buried a little bit. Other options are pretty cool features like the call reporting and lead form extensions, and you have to go in here to accept the terms, otherwise you're not going to be eligible to use the features. And other ones like tracking templates and the inventory and content exclusion categories. If you're using the same settings in every single campaign, just set it at the account level. Then you don't have to worry about it when you're creating anything new. For now, that's all we get within the account settings. So if you have any additional questions, please let us know in the comments.
Thanks for watching our video. If you found it useful, give us a thumbs up below.
We release a new video at least once a week, so if you want to see more from the Paid Media Pros channel, be sure to subscribe.